ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknext.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
Boom. Boom.
Bam!
Boom.
What's the word?
Yeah.
So you look like you're in a new. Did you make a new
Well,
office?
Dodge. This looks good. So I actually got this. This is Bitcoin Orange. So
You requested that?
it looks good, huh? Yeah. Bitcoin Orange. That's what I do. That's what I do.
You're like, I need a
I'm gonna
room,
try
but
hotspotting.
it must have.
This internet sucks.
It must have orange. Otherwise, I can't be in that room.
It must have orange and the crappiest Wi-Fi you've ever seen.
Yes.
Give me that room.
If it doesn't have those things, you might be better pivoting off of your phone. Can you? You should.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that in a second.
Yeah, because that Wi-Fi looks like. I mean, you get better service in Cancun in the jungle. And here's how I know, because I'm looking at a frozen version of you.
Let's see if the phone works no better. This is
tethering
garbage.
Better. See, that looks better.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm on my phone. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
My phone's better than the hotel. Good.
The audio definitely.
Busy weekend. Good. That's all that matters. What's up? A shirt? You're feeling okay? Oh, it's because I'm not in a tank top, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's why
true.
I wore the tank top for him.
Oh, that was so sweet. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Good.
Oh, by the way,
Good,
you
good,
see
good,
it?
good,
It's
good.
in celebration of what's about the show.
Yes. Perfect. Oh, yes.
Alien Earth.
Dude.
It's like the
Yes,
evolution
that
of
looks
the
good.
Cambrian man, but like the alien version of it.
Love it.
Only like one person in 100 gets it. And when they do, I'm like, we just became best friends. Who dey?
Oh.
Yeah, Brandon looks housing insecure. Jeez.
man, guys. Okay, I got it. That's fair. Tough times.
Tough times.
Yeah.
Tough times.
If ETH goes down a little bit, it's hard for me. I'm a believer of ETH. So if I ever see a dip, this is what happens.
It is unquestionably hard out there for a pimp, huh?
We get strange Bitcoin art.
Okay. I guess there was some clarification yesterday and early today about liquid staking tokens. They're basically having to do all this to lay, if I understand it correctly, to lay a correct legal foundation for staking inside ETFs. Is that kind of what you're getting out of this?
Yeah, I have it pulled up. Let me just share the document. This is there it is. The Securities and Exchange, the liquid staking. Because remember, our friend Gary Gensler was on the other side of this. And so for them to release this statement is kind of a big deal. And so I do think this is preparing 100% for the ETFs, for the staking in the ETFs, the Ethereum staking, because that's probably going to be the easiest route for BlackRock to go, is to use some sort of liquid staking.
Brandon, can you reach behind you and make that picture frame, bring the right side of it up just a little bit, like slide it over.
Nailed to the wall.
Oh, son of a bitch. It's nailed wrong, or is it that you're just sitting on a weird? Doesn't it look? It looks weird. It's not just Dave. I agree, Dave. It looks weird. Yes.
Dude, it just fell on my head.
Yes. You know what? That's better. That's better.
It fell on my
Okay. So back to liquid staking. So can you briefly explain to people what they're trying to, why this is a big deal?
Well, this is a big deal because prior to this, they were worried that any staking activity was going to be classified as some sort of security because you're getting a return based on somebody else's work in some way or another. And so this is going to allow you to, I guess, not even worry about that. So this opens up the door for all institutional investors to safely invest in liquid staking. And staking is super important, especially on the Ethereum network, which is a lot about, I think, what we want to discuss today, the Ethereum network, because staking, we've moved to proof of stake. So staking is kind of what secures the network. So the more tokens that are staked and locked up in liquid staking tokens or that kind of stuff, the better for the network altogether. So it's just a win all the way around. And so the fact that the Securities and Exchange Commission came out and said this is a bigger deal than I think people even decided to announce yesterday. So also, I did want to mention too, so I guess in tandem with this is the reason when we look at this stuff, the Securities and Exchange Commission coming out with this stuff, this is also one of the reasons why Tom Lee predicts Ethereum to do so well this year. And this is why his company, Bitmine, has gone to 100% like the Ethereum treasury company and all that stuff, is because they believe that staking and Ethereum is going to be a better asset than Bitcoin going forward because of the staking involved. And so these guys coming out saying this, oh, this isn't going to bother investors and stuff like that. This isn't going to be a big deal for them. And it's not going to be, they're not going to be punished for it. So because Tom Lee believes that this is all happening and stuff, he predicts Bitcoin's going to be, I think I have it pulled up right here. Yeah, he believes Ethereum's going to be $15,000 by the end of the year. He's pretty bullish on his Ethereum outlook, obviously. He predicted 4,000 by the end of July. We hit 3,900, which is probably within a margin of error. But his big reasoning, I don't know if you guys have listened to him talk or whatever it is, but his big reasoning behind all of this is he thinks that because Ethereum is going to be the network for adoption and stablecoin usage, which I think he's right, all stable coins are going to basically go into Ethereum. They're being used on Ethereum, okay? He thinks because Ethereum is going to be the main network that people use to bring the entire world of tokenization onto the blockchain, that's why Ethereum is going to be doing $15,000 by the end of the year. And that's why he went and started his staking, basically started his treasury company in ETH, which I think is obviously, it's a pretty big deal. Anyway, sorry. So what are your thoughts on Tom Lee's estimates here? Do you think he's spot on or do you think he's a little bit off?
I think it's tricky. I don't think that one of the reasons that I thought Ethereum was going to have a problem in the past has mostly been taken care of, and that's the fee paradox, where the higher the price goes, the more expensive it gets, and then that shuts down network activity because it gets too expensive. But they're working around that. So with that fee paradox not existing the same way it used to, I don't know. I guess I don't know where Ethereum can go. I wonder if there's a point where people start buying into the overall infrastructure of crypto argument, and that Ethereum has a kind of moneyness to it. If that makes sense. It's not going to be looked at as a store of value, but it might be looked at as better than a store of value because it's kind of kind of a substance that gets utilized on a regular basis in this ecosystem, but it's not a capped supply. So it's going to obviously limit its kind of store of value side to it. Yeah. But if you know that you could look at the kind of expansion, you could say, okay, what's the addressable market? Okay, let's say half of the companies in the United States that go with the Genius Act that launch their stable coins launch on Ethereum. The other half are a bunch of idiots that launch on, bullshit layer ones. But half of them, let's say, go to Ethereum. What's that going to mean as far as absorption of Ethereum? What is the continual upward path of the ETFs pulling Ethereum out of the retail market? What's that going to look like? Is there going to be an oh shit moment where there's only 5 million Ethereum left on exchanges? So if you have these treasury companies, I think they can make a bigger dent than MicroStrategy and these guys. With less money, you can make a bigger dent. Smaller market cap, demonstrably smaller. So,
yeah, that's true. I mean, Bitmine alone, they want to get 5% of the entire Ethereum supply.
Yeah, 5 to 7.5.
I mean, and for them to be able to take a swing like that, and I think they could actually do it with all the other ETH treasury companies that we have here. I think I have this site pulled up too, even if it's a little bit off or whatever. But yeah, they're buying Ethereum, I think, at a faster pace than Bitcoin treasury companies are buying Bitcoin, even in nominal amounts, of course, obviously, because Ethereum is a smaller quantifiable asset. But they're buying Ethereum much quicker than Bitcoin's being purchased. And then in addition to this, obviously, we do have the Ethereum ETFs. They had a couple of outflow days, Thursday or Friday and then Monday, but now they're back in the inflows. They had so many inflow days in a row for the Ethereum ETFs in that one big outflow day yesterday, but that was going to happen because of all the drops and everything else, shenanigans. Yeah. I mean, it's just bound to happen, right? Once in a while. But we look at this fat inflow sector of Ethereum. I think it's going to outpace the inflation rate of Ethereum 100-fold. Like that's not like just a thing. Like not 100-fold sounds like a lot, but I think it can do it because the growth of Ethereum right now is at a 0.21% per year. So that's how much it's growing per year right now, which is pretty negligible. Bitcoin's growing at a faster rate than that right now. Its inflation rate's a little bit faster than Ethereum's rate right now. And it won't be obviously into perpetuity, but right now they can outpace the inflation rate of Ethereum, just these treasury companies and the ETH ETFs by far, let alone retail adoption. So that's why I do think that Ethereum does have a lot of room to grow. And that's why I was talking with my son, because he wants to put some money into some things, and kind of just let it sit. He doesn't want to like mess with it. He doesn't want to do anything. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so you got Bitcoin, which that's safe. Let's do that. But then I was looking at Ethereum and I think you could honestly just put that there and hold it for a while. And I do think, and Tom Lee says over the next 10 years, it's going to outpace Bitcoin, right? But I do think you could set some money in Ethereum right now because of the tokenization efforts and the stablecoin plays, and be safe enough to let it sit there in its staking form as a liquid staking token or staked Ethereum and be just fine over the next couple years.
Yeah, so those of you that don't want to move your Ethereum off of Coinbase, if you live in a state where you're allowed to stake, which is still weird that they've shut off California, but it's still shut off. Like if you own Ethereum on Coinbase right now, you can't stake. If you were already staking, you can leave it there. But if you unstake and do their 13-day thing, which is actually, mine turned out to be like 9 days. It said 13 days is the worst, but it was only 9 days.
And unlike how much were you getting? Yeah, how much were you getting over there?
0.7%.
Oh, that's actually dang good. Is it still that high?
Well, it fluctuates.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
So
okay, because I think liquid staking you're getting around 2.7, right?
Well, that fluctuates too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it does, right? fluctuates a little bit, but
They
either
all
way.
kind of fluctuate with the network. But the point is,
Well, yeah. And you heard what they said about that yesterday about California. Okay, so they're pissed about that. The SEC is actually pretty pissed about that. The people are not able, as American citizens, to go out and get all these airdrops, and they have to use VPNs. They're aware of it. They know what we're doing, right? They know that people are using VPNs to get around things. They're pissed that this is the laws and stuff that's been set in place. So I do see a change coming. It's just going to take time. And so California will eventually have all the rights that other states have. But it's going to take some time.
Oh, Gavin Newsom.
Maybe not California. Screw it. Every other state will be fine, but not California. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Those guys.
People's Republic. Yeah. Well, okay. So Ethereum wise, price wise, price arguments are tricky because every year there's more currency units floating around in the system. So your price arguments from the year before are not really. So like when people say, will Bitcoin hit 1 million? Bitcoin will absolutely hit 1 million. Listen, depending on the way they print and money creation and I would not say any kind of fiscal soundness because that we waved bye-bye to that a long time ago. But I think you could have a $10 or $20 million Bitcoin. That's not outrageous. Look at what happened in Venezuela. Everything became expensive, right? So if they print enough currency units, everything looks in currency unit terms quite expensive. So I don't know. Now, right now, dollars, I think Ethereum I think it's a safe bet, the 5 to 7,500 range, 5,000 to 7,500. Beyond that, I think we would have to see the onboarding of stablecoins being issued. And we'd have to see, obviously the upgrade cycle in Ethereum is important too. I think you will start to see a collapsing, you'll start to see projects condensing back into Ethereum that may have gone out like Optimism projects, rolling out Ethereum, Arbitrum, all these layer twos where it made sense maybe the last few years, and now it doesn't make so much sense.
Well, yeah, you saw what happened to Base yesterday? Oh, you didn't. Okay, so Base went down yesterday. They kind of have a single point of entry failure in the Coinbase, right? They don't have a distributed, decentralized validator network set up in a way that needs to be set up as a layer 2. And I think people just realized that yesterday. It went down for 40 minutes yesterday. It wouldn't transact a single thing. Nothing would go through. That's a bad look.
That sounds like Solana.
Yeah, that's a bad look. And it's funny because they're always like, well, Base is going to beat Solana. Well, maybe not. It's like stick with Ethereum, which also for me, it's even a bigger indicator that I think Ethereum, that's where I'm sticking now. I don't even know if I'm going to branch out on these layer 2s over the next year. I think I'm going to stick with Ethereum. Yeah. And maybe, just utilize whatever staking or whatever methods I can to amplify my Ethereum gains through lending, through yield, through whatever else I need to do on just Ethereum. So I don't think I'm going to do a lot of more layer 2s over the next year unless they prove to me that something's, I guess, more beefed up, because Base going down, that sucks. And I don't think Optimism's in that same camp. I think this is a Base isolated incident, but that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It does suck.
Yeah, I'm with Dave. I'm out of layer 2s.
Yeah.
Again, it made sense when we were frustrated that Vitalik and the team were lazy. And it seems like now they may come back later and rewrite the past and say, no, we were just waiting. We were just waiting to see. This is a grand experiment. We all know that's bullshit. We all know they got lazy. They got rich and they got lazy. But what happened is at some point, Vitalik started getting embarrassed. He got embarrassed because there's all these crap layer 1 projects that were coming up that were just built on really poor thought, logically flawed just theoretically flawed projects. Like, Solana, whatever, forget the theft and the greed, graft, corruption, and all the insider bullshit. Solana was built on bad math. Just was. And so it's hard to recover from that. Now you make a bunch of upgrades and but that starts to become patchwork. So Ethereum gets a pass because they were the first one. So yeah, it's taken a big overhaul. But we're also starting to see that the guy that kind of came up with the first one may have more inside his brain box than all these copycats. And so then when their well runs dry, there's nothing left to plumb. They don't have any other ideas because all they've ever done is copy and paste, or copy and spam and half paste and then just fill in the gaps with a bunch of crap. Like in Jurassic Park where, we don't have all the DNA, so we just put frog DNA wherever we couldn't find the right DNA. What? Yeah. No, we just put frog DNA. Gosh. So
splicing it together.
Yeah. It's the same kind of thing, right? So they just kind of fill in the gaps with frog DNA and you get frog layer 1s. And at least with the layer 2s, you say, okay, this was an extension. This made things easier for Ethereum. You would do a bunch of transactions up on a layer 2 and then reconcile those and drop the reconciled smaller number down to the layer 1 on some incremental timeline. And that made sense. But then you were like, well, if all that's happening, why doesn't Ethereum just do all that? Just make the upgrades that layer 2s allow and then but keep it in-house. Well, they have done. So that's what they've done. They were like, I think Vitalik was kind of embarrassed. He just saw that. He looked around. He's like, I can't believe my legacy is getting, crapped on by just crap projects and junk. Basically the meme coinization. Remember when Singularity DAO said they were coming out with a layer 2?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Remember that was the Cogito pivot? Those idiots over at Cogito. We're pivoting to a layer 2. Layer 2? You motherfuckers don't even know what a layer anything is. Your project your project is crap. How can you even you're pivoting? You're not pivoting. You're just making shit up as you go. This is why non-crypto people, when they get into crypto, they do the stupidest shit.
Yep.
You're like, what are you doing? Hey, were you working on your car? Yeah, making it a rocket ship. You mean fast? Nope, going to space. You mean you saw Fast and Furious 19 and you think you can make your ship a spaceship? Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Well, it's good. And then you look at the license plate, Cogito. You're like, come on. So that's that intellectual gap. And I think you get a guy like Vitalik and he's just looking around the space. He wakes up in his silk cashmere robe at the crack of 1 p.m. and he goes, with his big head, he goes, this just looks wrong to me. This just looks wrong. I've had enough. And he sets his alarm for 10:30 tomorrow. He's waking up early. And that's it.
10:30 instead of 1 p.m. Yeah.
That's it. And then what happens is a bunch of text messages come out. Vitalik's going to start waking up at 10:30. Oh, shit. Here. They all know the end is near. I mean, have you heard anything meaningful out of any of these layer 1s other than what? This spammy ass Glacier airdrop by Cardano?
What?
You saw the whole thing, right? Everybody that had more than $100 of any of these tokens in their wallet, because again, Cardano's a fail. So if you had Solana, if you had Bitcoin, if you had Ethereum, they went down this whole list, 8 different projects, because he just wants to give the token to everyone and all this kind of stuff. He goes, but of course, there's some problem with the Ledger integration. They can't integrate with Ledger. Ledger Live is not. It's like you're 264, 271 bits, and we have a 8-bit maximum message traffic thing. So of course that didn't work. But the whole point was, with the airdrop, once you do get these tokens, you don't actually get them. You qualify for them over there's a 365-day period where they're going to have random and staggered events where you can earn those tokens that you
You have to earn your potential. So they're potential tokens that you have to fulfill the requirement to get them.
Charles is is such
Hey, you can't refer to him as Charles anymore. He's now Bitcoin Treasury co-founder Charles Hoskinson.
Yeah.
And it's not Cardano anymore. It's Bitcoin Treasury Company Cardano.
He can't even give something away without fucking it up. That's how bad they are over there. So again, Vitalik, you realize Vitalik was smart contracts. He had some help from Gavin Wood lining up Solidity and probably some game theory advice from Charles. But Charles, it's clear he was the whiny weak link at Ethereum, and it's clear that Gavin Wood was I don't want to say the idiot, but maybe the over sophisticated brainiac who he wrapped his mind around Solidity, but anything past that, he's just clueless. Because look at the fail that is Polkadot. These guys tried. They went out, they tried, they failed. That's it. They failed. But Cardano is a fail. It's cool. It's sophisticated. It's interesting, and it's a fail. If you you have years and years to build something. 7 years, 8 years now. 8 fucking years. Oh. If people can't figure out what you do and use it in 8 years, you don't have a product. 8 years in crypto is like 800 years in any other market. It's like going from balsa wood to titanium airplanes. It's even more than that. So you had years and years and you failed. It's it. Cardano's a fail. There may be some nuggets, some things that they've learned that might be useful on another project, but it ain't Cardano. Solana at least had its meme coin phase. That was cool. Yeah. But guess what? Once the meme coins went away, so did everything else.
Well, you don't really need Solana because you have better smart contracts on Ethereum.
You don't need it. And this is the thing. These guys that were all trying to reinvent the wheel, even the guys, Polkadot. Oh, we're going to have this main chain and all these other chains wrapped around it. Why? Why unnecessarily complicate something?
Yeah.
And this is what these guys did. And they all personally got rich. Make no mistake. And some of us got rich off of their riches. It is what it is. We all made a little bit of money. But I think maybe we all knew it was kind of bullshitty. Like even in 2017, when we were making all this money on these new projects, we knew it was crap. You knew half of this stuff was crap. You were buying it only because number was going to go up, because you knew other people were going to rush in and buy your crap. But it started to, there's more and more projects than ever before, but it started to condense upward. It's everything, things are crashing upward. And every now and then, yes, you see a flash in the pan. Oh yeah, Ripple, XRP. There's another company. How long they been around? Almost a decade. What have they done? Fucking nothing. Nothing. They've done nothing. Oh, ISO 2201649 or so. Okay, when? When is the Great Reset? Part of the ISO, whatever, 11022, part of it is 2022. That came and went. Where was the Great Reset? Where's the 589? Where's the fucking bear? Where's the Riddler? Lumens. Oh, it's going to be better than Ripple. But remember, this is all from the same guy that brought you MT Gox and got out right before it got hacked. And then brought you Ripple. And then got out right before it got at Garlinghouse. And then brought you Lumens. We've made this dude rich on setting up half-ass stuff. Jeb McCaleb, he's cool, but he set up half-ass stuff. Ooh, here's a platform that's really cheap to move money. Cool. Well, how do you set up smart contracts? Oh, no. You don't do that. No. So how do you enforce any of this? How do you inject Oracle information? No, that's not our problem. So what then? I don't understand what you're trying to do. We have a foundation. Okay, you're done. So, and that's the problem. And then just go down the list, and it's all these projects that just try to change a few buttons and launch their own thing. Look, everyone, give me a bunch of money. All of it is a cash grab, man. It's all a bullshit. It's pets.com. Most of crypto is pets.com.
Yeah. I invested in that, by the way. No, that'd be so cool.
But like,
that'd be so awesome.
Like, I get it when people say crypto's a scam. I'm like, yeah, mostly you're right. However, from that scam, a bunch of good software and a bunch of good innovation and ideas is going to pop up. But most of it's going to resolve back to it. I think most of it's going to resolve back to Ethereum.
Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Smart contract levels, Ethereum. Infrastructure is Ethereum. Yep.
When did you get into XLM? I mean, I guess if you got into it recently, it was down like 8 or 10 cents a while ago, and it's like 40 cents now. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when you talk to real people that know about the space or real people in the space, none of them mess with anything but Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like nothing else. Like not XRP, they cannot understand why people are investing in XRP. It's only the retail investors that I see on the street that are investing in XRP and that other nonsense still. But it's not going to be around forever, you know. Anyway. The other thing that I did want to mention before we go behind the wall, because I think it's cool, is Jupiter is going to be launching pre-ICO stocks, basically. So you're going to be able to trade pre-IPO stocks. So SpaceX, OpenAI, I guess OpenAI is supposed to be getting $500 billion valuation they're going to be launching. So you can buy the pre-IPO on Jupiter. I don't even know how this works. And then Andrel and a bunch more, right?
I mean, so I guess if they get an allocation, they're just going to tokenize the allocation. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's going to be similar. I think Robinhood's doing the same thing, but this is just all going to be decentralized, which I think is really rad. I guess their decentralized stocks on Jupiter, the ones they're doing over on Jupiter, are selling like crazy. More people are buying those. Like I guess the X Tesla. I don't have the exact stats, but because people that aren't in the United States can't buy Tesla, people are using Jupiter to buy Tesla. So everyone else in the whole world can now buy Tesla because it's decentralized now, which is exactly what Tom Lee says is going to happen with 100% of the assets. They're all going to be tokenized, and I don't disagree. I think this is going to be the way because I mean, we used to have the NASDAQ run 9 to 5 or whatever it is because you had 3 guys that had to do each transaction manually on a piece of paper. We're past that. We don't need pieces of paper anymore. It can run on its own. So make it 24/7, decentralize it so there's no middleman or guy that's having to cause friction in the system. Let's make it a frictionless system and use the blockchain, which is exactly what Jupiter is striving to do. So these guys are going to be their one. That's what they mean by aggregate everything. They're doing everything over at Jupiter, except for increase the token price. But I do have some information. Anyway, I could talk about that behind the wall. The last thing that we're going to talk about, obviously, Jupe Lend, the beta program came out. The only asset that they're using for the beta program is Solana, which kind of makes sense. I'm not happy about it, but it's beta, so it is what it is. A very slick program. I use it. I'll probably make a video on it later tonight, maybe. I'll make a video on it, just how to do it if you wanted to do it. But they said they're going to unleash a whole bunch of assets. I'm like, are you going to do wrapped Bitcoin, Ethereum? They said, yeah. So the interesting thing, I'm interested to see their borrow rates and then obviously their supply rates because right now you won't.
Here's how you make them oodles of money. They need to have a way where let's say let's say you're at Morpho and you have a loan and they have the same pair. They need to have a way where you can arb that pair. Where you can go, let's say you already have a loan. Let's say you took out $1 million on Morpho against wrapped Ethereum. They need to have a way on Jupelend where you can click a button and it will unwind your loan there and restart your loan here at a more favorable rate, and basically push liquidity in, suck liquidity out, and create the loan over here so that you can go loan hopping. You can take your loan and move your loan.
Oh, I think Morpho does that within itself, so you can transfer pools within itself. That would be so dope but this would have to go across chain too, so it would have to go over a chain.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying if you do that, then what you could do is they could have a way where you could log in. It could go look at your loans in other places and say, bring this one, and this one. Click here.
Yep. I don't see myself moving because on Solana you can't do. There's no staked Ethereum. Is there a wrap staked Ethereum token on Solana?
Probably.
There probably is. I'm gonna look into that actually, but I just know that I have my wrap staked Ethereum on ETH and it's fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'll move things. Plus, I don't know. It would have to be a way better rate. It'd have to be like 2%.
That's right. But they would have to have those, if they had those options available where you could go from one platform to another with your entire loan. Ooh.
Yes. That would be dope. That would be dope. They do have Jupe Soul, so I guess that's their liquid staked soul. It's getting like 8% per year. I don't know if you get 8% on top too. I don't know about that. That'd be crazy. So you're getting like 16%.
Borrow rate's 4, but if you're getting 8, so basically, yeah. So as long as you get like 40% loan to value, it's a break even. You're paying nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
Okay, well, we'll go behind the wall and then we'll talk about the timeline for Bitcoin. Again, that gets tricky for a lot of reasons, which we kind of talked about earlier, but yeah. So let's go behind the wall. Let's do all that stuff that we do.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.